Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Yogi podcast, the School of Transformation. I am happy. I am excited. I am filled with gratitude and energy to finally be here in front of you all in my first episode of the Yogi podcast. For the past 5 years or so now, I have dreamed of being here with you and to also helping you to sprout the best version of yourself. The Yogi's podcast mission is primarily to bring science and spirituality together. The idea here is to go deep into what our humanity is. The idea here is to learn a little bit more about our consciousness, to learn about the 3 levels of consciousness within us, to learn more about the body, the mind, the spirit, but to also remove the mysticism behind all of this talk about being a mystic and being a yogi, X, Y, and Z. And so my goal and my mission is to go out and find some of the leading companies and some of the leading research and really have these deep conversations about consciousness. How is it that we can develop ourselves? How is it, or what is it that we can do to grow ourselves to become better human beings? You know, this is not just about performance. It's also about a state of being. It's also about growth. Because one of the things that I've learned, at least in my life, in my personal experience, because as a veteran who served almost 8 years in the United States Army, I went through my nightmares. I went through my awakening. And my awakening was pretty heavy, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot during those moments, during those 6 months. And I will talk more about my story, and I would definitely share more about what happened to me and how and what it was that led me to my awakening, the process that I went through it, and ultimately how was I able to survive these long 6 moments. And essentially, I want to bring to you guys the best of humanity. My goal here is to have those conversations that people are not having. And in all honesty, you know, I want to give credit to a lot of people out there that are doing the work and that are starting to talk more about their stories, sharing their stories. But I believe that there needs to be more. More needs to be done. And I want to be part of that. And I want to be part of that because I believe in humanity. I believe in the story that we all have. Everybody has an individual story. Everybody has a beautiful side to each other. Everybody has a gift. And a lot of us have not discovered that yet. And we haven't because of our prior traumas, our prior experiences. But the reality is that we haven't discovered this because we haven't learned enough about ourselves as individuals, as conscious being, and as the collective that we exist right now. And I think that one of the reasons why we're still in the situation that we're in right now, and there's a massive awakening happening right now too. But the reason why many of us are still stuck and why we're still glued to our past is because we still don't understand ourselves. We still don't understand what it is to be human. We still don't understand emotions. We don't understand thoughts. We don't understand our body. And these conversations need to happen. And I want to bring these conversations to you. I want to bring the future to you, to the present moment, and unglue you from the past, because there's a narrative in every single human being out there that says, I'm not good enough. I can't do it. And it's not like you're literally consciously telling yourself that. And I know that for some folks that does apply, but not everybody. But there is an unconscious narrative behind your head that you're not aware of, and that it's happening every single day. And it's those frequencies, those low vibrations that are holding you back. And, you know, and from personal experience, I can also tell you that, you know, we all have dreams. We all have goals and aspirations and there's things that we want to do in life. But for some reason, we still can't seem to activate this dimension within ourselves that will enable us to sprout the best version of ourselves. And a lot of people that I talk to, they feel it inside. It's like, I know that there's something better inside of me. I know that I can do better, but something is holding me back. And that thing that's holding you back is what I want to address, and I want to have those difficult conversations, and I want people to have some reflection and ask those intimate questions that they've never really asked themselves. And it's those same questions that I had to go through my awakening, through my process, and that allowed me to really discover this new side of myself that I didn't know was there. This energy, this just something that that you, if you talk to a lot of people that have gone through this, they can't even explain it, or they'll say, this is something that you're going to have to experience yourself. This is something that you're going to have to do alone. And it's the most beautiful feeling ever. And while you are going through this process, it may not feel like the best feeling ever, but it's after, when you're done with this process, that you finally realize that this was the best thing that could have happened to you. And so the Yogi podcast, the School of Transformation, I want to bring philosophy. I want to bring neurology. I want to bring psychology. I want to bring mysticism. I want to bring cryotherapy. I want to talk about different types of recovery modalities that are out there right now that can assist your body, that can assist your mental health, that can assist your spirituality. Because I believe that to be the best version of yourself, to sprout the best you really need to focus on the 3 dimensions of yourself. And the only way that you're going to do that is by gaining and finding that knowledge. And from personal experience, I had to go looking for all that knowledge. And I wish that there would have been a podcast. I wish that there could have been a website that I could go and to listen all to these different types of episodes that talk about all of these different modalities. I didn't know about breath work. I didn't know about Reiki. I didn't know about cold plunging. I didn't know about banyas, about saunas, about just red light therapy. There's so much out there. And the thing is that I want to finally remove this veil of mysticism, as if Reiki is something that is just spiritual. We have to come full circle and understand that we are beings of energy. That's all we are. That's all we are. We are energy beings, and we are consistently moving energies around us, in us, and we need to come to understand that there is something called spirit, soul, energy, whatever you want to call it, not inside of your body, but outside of your body. Your body is actually inside of your spirit, not your spirit inside of your body. And those are essentially the conversations that I want to have with everyone who I'm going to invite here. And the second part I want to address, and this is one of the major motivators as to why I decided to start my journey, why the awakening process happened to me, why I'm writing the book that I'm writing right now and I'm almost done, why I'm starting this podcast, why it is that now I'm also a coach. And the part 2 to this is that as a veteran who served almost 8 years in the United States Army and served overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan, I experienced and I got to see a lot of stuff overseas. And a lot of my guys got to see a lot of stuff. And those that stayed in the military and did 20 years, deployed 5, 7, 10, 11 times. I mean, I've heard some high numbers of deployments, and I'm baffled how much time they gave to their country, to the USA. And we have to come to understand that with so much service also comes a lot of comes with a lot of after service, with a lot of recovery, because your body needs to recover. Your mind needs to recover. Your spirit needs to recover. You went through war. You went through a lot. And so consequently, because of all of that, I lost a lot of friends from the military. I lost a lot of good friends to suicide, and that really impacted my life. And there was a moment about 5 years ago that it felt like almost every single month I was getting some bad news about one of my soldiers taking their lives, or friends of mine from different units. And it started to have an impact on me until finally on one day, who happened to be one of my direct soldiers who I served with, something happened to him. And that took me almost into a shock. It was a state of being that it just shook me to my core. And I had already been impacted by the loss of so many, but this one specific soldier, this one specific friend, just pulled my heart, tore my heart out. And it was about probably 30 days after that my awakening started. And through this awakening process, I also underwent suicide ideations, and it was difficult for me. And I came to really understand exactly what happens dynamically in the mind, what happens to a person who is suicidal. And thankfully for me, I had already started the process of research, of philosophy, neurology, psychology, without me even knowing. Since I was very young, probably at the age of 18, I started reading a lot of books, and it was just something that just called my name, just called my nature. And I had always been a reader. And when I went through this, it's almost like everything that I ever learned was what I needed to make sense of what I was going through. But I can tell you that I did come close to taking my own life. And these are the conversations that I want to have with people. These are the dialogues that I want to develop in public. And I want veterans. I want everyone to hear these conversations and understand the different dynamics, what happens in someone's head when this is happening. And I want them to come to understand what consciousness is, that we're not the mind, or what is thought, what is emotion, what are feelings, what does it mean to cry, what does it mean to scream, how is it that we release pain out of our body, how do we communicate with someone that we're struggling, or how do we make sense of ourselves? Because at the end of the day, and one of my biggest experiences was that I found myself alone. Even though I was married, I was alone in my own prison, and nobody could help me in there because it was just me. I was by myself in my own brain, in my own head. So there was nobody that could help me. And there was a lot of lessons to learn, and it's those lessons that I want to share and bring people from the different sciences and open finally this door, open the windows, just knock the walls, and then finally just have an open conversation about consciousness, about what it is that you are, what it is that I am. And establish a strong platform with the strongest pillars, so that we have a good foundation for ourselves, so that when we are born in this dimension, so that when we are born in this thing called life, we can develop a manual to live this life. Because the reality is that we're all born without a manual. It's not like we're like a piece of furniture from a very popular store name. I can't say names, I guess. I don't think I can. And so it's not like you're born with a manual, and the manual tells you, well, this is how you're going to experience your first year. When you're 7, this is how you manage bullying. When you're 8, when you're 9, when you're 10, when you're a teenager and you hit your 13s, kids are going to do this, and this is how you're going to evaluate yourself. And and how you're going to surpass a challenge, it doesn't happen that way. Life is your manual. And a lot of us who didn't have a father, a mother, or both, or just one, or abandoned, neglected, abused, whatever the case it may be, those are the most difficult cases. And so it's important to remember that we're not born with guidance. That guidance comes with experience. And that experience is the feedback that talks to us and says, either life is happening to me or life is happening for me. And so these conscious conversations, conscious awareness is what I want to bring up. And I want to have these discussions and not simply talk about performance, not simply talk about leadership, because even strong leaders, it takes a lot to create a strong leader. It takes a lot of different experiences. And so I want to find out exactly what it is that it takes to become a strong leader, to become rich, to do whatever it is that you want to do in life. And so I simply want to share this first episode with you all and simply say that I am excited to be here to finally start this. We already started recording some of the episodes with some very large companies here in our region, leading companies in the health and wellness industry that I'm happy to introduce, and you will get to know. Some of them are also sponsoring this show, this podcast. So I'm excited. There's so much coming here. I will also be talking about my book, which I'm going to start promoting real soon. I don't know exactly when, but I'm going to be promoting my book. And one of the episodes, I'm also going to share one of the chapters, possibly a full chapter. I haven't made the decision yet, so that you can experience this book, so you can hear my story, my struggle with suicide, my struggle with finding myself, the moment of truth where I had to go and make a decision to live this life and to be here with you and to fully understand, comprehend, embrace, just transmute, transcend, and transform myself to the version of who I am today. So I want to also ask everyone, if you listen to this episode, I want to ask, please, that you share this with as many people as you can. Please share this on Facebook, share this on Instagram, share this on TikTok. I promise you that there is a wealth of information coming your way. Some of these interviews are pretty amazing, and I know that you're not going to regret this, and you will learn so much from every episode. And in every episode that I bring to you, I will also be sharing my experiences because, for example, the next, I believe, the third or the fourth or the second episode, I will be interviewing one of the largest recovery companies, health and wellness companies here in this region. And we're going to be talking about consciousness. We're going to be talking about cryotherapy and about dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, norepinephrine, cortisol, lactic acid, all of these neurochemicals that are dynamically happening in your body. And most of us don't even know what they are and how they can help us and how do they connect with your body? How do they connect with your emotions? How do they connect with your mind? There's just so much going on. And that is what I want to make sense of for you all. And I know that it will. And just remember that if it's one thing that you can take away from this one episode, and if it's one thing that I want to share with you all, and my mission and my commitment is to bring healing and to speed up the development of our consciousness, because I believe that through the development of our consciousness is how we're going to become a better planet, how we are going to become better human beings and create the best platforms for generations and generations to come. So please, I ask one more time, share this with your friends, your family, This will be on iTunes. It will be on Spotify. I would try to get this podcast in as many places as possible. If you're only listening to the audio right now, the video will be on YouTube only. But essentially, just look for me everywhere and anywhere. You can also find me on Eddie, that's spelled EDY, eddietalks.com. And you can learn more about my book, my podcast, my coaching, more about me. And if you want to work with me, if you want to hire me as your coach, if you want to come on board and be part of my one of my episodes, please go to my website to find my contact information. And I'll be more than happy to bring anybody that's out there that wants to share their story and their challenges, because I think that we all have a story and everyone needs to be heard. And that is what makes humanity humanity. So other than that, thank you for listening to this episode. Welcome again to the Yogi Podcast, the School of Transformation. I am very much looking forward to the next episodes that are coming up. Thank you.